What's up, guys? It is JD from Let It Rip Side by Side and Adventure. As you can see, we got some new parts on Dylan's machine, so that is the reason why it looks so rough. Too many adult pops, and we were up till, I think I hit the pillow at 4 o'clock last night, so long night. Anyway, what do we got going on today? On our last trip out, I actually ratcheted the diff on the wife's machine extremely bad. We checked drive shafts, we checked everything over. We can't find anything else that is wrong. I thought I snapped a couple axles or twisted off a drive shaft. That indeed is not the case. Definitely ratcheted the diff. I'll throw up a quick clip here. Oh, that wasn't good. Yeah, that was angry, bro. I don't know if that was a diff or what that was.
It sounded like it.
Yeah, I wonder if it ratcheted.
It sounded like it.
Phew.
Good?
I don't know. Axles are good. Whether or not the diff is good, that's a different story. As you can see, it was angry. So we are going to drain the diff out of there, diff oil out of there to check the magnet. Fingers crossed that I ain't got no chunks or anything like that. I may end up installing a true lock on this machine as well, because apparently on the Polarises, that's a common freaking issue, because I want to be able to push these machines a little harder. And even with throttle control, every time I try to do something above what normal people would do, I end up ratcheting the diffs on these things. So they're either going to get replaced, or we're going to try to find a way to fix it, keep the power to those diffs like we're supposed to. Another thing we're doing. Okay, I have a license for all of my machines. I've got a Dynojet PB3 tuner. Pop this bad boy open here quick. I do have a PB3 tuner, and come out of there. I have a license for all three of these machines like I just stated. I can get in there, hook it up to the diagnostic port, go ahead, turn the key on. I can store the stock files or tune file for this machine, and then I can go ahead and flash my aftermarket tune on here. So it is pretty straightforward. I'll kind of show you what that's all about. Sorry about the change in light and stuff, guys. It's really bright in there and halfway right in here. So anyway, hood's got to come off. Get your hood up out of the way, and then right here is your diagnostic port. Okay, your PB3 will, let's grab that real quick, grab that out of here. Okay, your PB3 gets plugged directly into your diagnostic port. Put this right here. Okay, now I already have the tune for this machine. I already have it uploaded on the PB3. Reason why we're changing is they put that base map tune on here since they did that clutch recall. Not a huge fan of it. I stated on one of my last videos when we were out, when we got that fresh snow, that I didn't feel it had the performance that it did. So we are going to flash it. So anyway, plug this into diagnostic port here. Plug that into your PB3, and then you will start the process of flashing your tune. When you're flashing the tune or doing anything crazy, always make sure you got a full battery, because I'm going to be in the ECU of this machine, deleting stuff, adding tunes, and if in the midst of all that, your battery dies, something crazy, bad news bear. So I'm going to get everything hooked up, kind of show you the rest of the process. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so anyway, keyed the machine on. Once it's all hooked up, turn the key on. You've got power. Your Dynojet or your PB3 tuner will come on. And then, let's see, I believe I should have flash tunes. These are the tunes that I've currently got on here. That is the bottom one is your stock file, STK 19702, and then that's a 1. Okay, so when you are doing this, if you get a hold of, say, like Aftermarket Assassins or Dynojet, or what's the other one, Bike Bin Tunes or whatever like that, give those guys a call, or even you can go on their websites, explain to them, or put in the in their website what you have done to your machine. With my wife's machine, it had a clutch kit. Now it's back to that stock replacement clutch that they just did on the recall. As far as that's concerned, though, it does have a J2 blow-off valve. It does have J-tube, charge tube, blow-off valve, and that is basically, oh, and it has a slip-on exhaust. So we already have all that information. They already knew what this was, but if you're doing your own, call them, tell them what you got, what you've done to it, clutch kit, etc., size tires, what you're looking to do. They will set you up with a tune, and then once you plug it into the machine for the first time, it will take your stock tune, store it to your BB3, and then you will, from their website or email, vice versa, you will upload the new tune onto the BB3. So if for some crazy reason something goes wrong, don't like the tune, you can go back and reflash your stock tune on there. Kind of a way to get around things because, you know, voiding warranty, that's kind of a gray area. So if you put an aftermarket tune on there, you got your stock one, quick plug it in, flash your stock one, take it in for warranty work, kind of go from there. You didn't hear that from me. Anyway, so we are going to go for stage 2. Now this one is just basically changes your fan temps, can start the machine in any gear, double brake, you can brake and gas at the same time. This is actually changing the fuel mapping and some other stuff. This is just a stage 2. So I'm going to go with the stage 2, showing kind of what it is. It'll go through the rest of everything down there. And then we're going to go, let's see, flash areas, flash it. Okay, now it's going to prepare it. Okay, and this is the part that I was talking about. It's in that ECU right now. It is doing its thing. That's why at this point it is extremely important to make sure that you have a full battery on this machine, because in this process you're pulling your ECU to either get a different one or send it in to have it reprogrammed. Bad news bear. So as you can see, sketch, erasing. Okay, now what's cool is if I wanted to, I could take this PB3, I could run it through the firewall, mount it by the steering wheel of any one of these machines, and then it has a 4-gauge setup where I can set up what I'm getting for boost, all kinds of miscellaneous parameters on these machines. You'll see them on, like, say, I've seen them on Can-Am's crew, where they have some of these inside their machine. Just gives you the ability to kind of keep a little more of an eye on some of the important, you know, important parts of your machine, so you don't end up blowing something up or nothing crazy. It's always good to have when you're out ripping on the trail. But it already erased one, and it is actually writing the second tune on there. So I'm not going to bore with you guys staring at a 15, 16, 17%. Once this is done, I am going to fire the machine up, make sure everything operates like it's supposed to. I'll be right back. Okay, it finished everything up. It says flash complete. To verify flash, turn key off, then on. Okay, so we're gonna come over here, turn the key off, then back on. I can hear the fuel pump, heard the ECU turn on, and I should be able to hop in this bad boy. Simple as that. Okay. There it goes. Okay, picked everything up. Reset the dash. I know there's fuel and stuff in there. It takes a second for that to come back. Showing everything is great. Now, it sounds crazy, but even on the starting procedure, with that one that they had on there from the recall, let me shut this thing off. Actually, I'm going to leave it run for a second. Once they did that, turned a little harder. This machine was cold when I just fired it up, so you heard just that aftermarket tune. Adjust your fuel where it needs to be, and no more to touch that key, and that overall fired right up. But that's what I was telling about. If you decide to mount this on your machine, you can actually, you know, input what you want as far as, you know, whether or not you want that temperature or boost. You can, you know, customize this gauge, mount it on the inside. Gives you a little better idea on what's going on with your machine. So that's as easy as it is to flash too. Everybody's like, oh my god, it's freaking crazy, but no, it is really that easy. You can do it yourself. And what's cool, like I said, is you can swap back and forth between your stock or keep going up from tunes depending on what your machine has. So from here, I'm gonna let this thing warm up a little bit, and then I am gonna drop this diff fluid. Fingers crossed there's no chunks in the diff. I'll be back. Okay, I do see a little bit of glitter coming out of there. See a little glitter, but nothing crazy. When you ratchet, you know, metal on metal, that's bound and determined to happen. But we got the heater going, heater's heating, and then part of the reason I was going to bring this up, I should have before, if I would have broke down or showed you what was in that tune. The reason why I do put a tune on these machines, not only does it get rid of some of the lean spots in your mapping for fuel, it changes. Not only does it change that, but it changes my rev limiter, brings up my rev limiter, it brings up my speed limiter. So not only can I rev it a little higher before it hits the rev limiter, I can go a little faster, gets the lean spots out of your fuel mapping. Your fan engagement is sooner than the stock tune. It allows for 2-pedal driving as far as foot on the brake, foot on the gas. That way I can load the clutch if I am trying to go up something. So there is a bunch of pros to putting an aftermarket tune. Even if you just do a level 1, you get all of those perks without really changing too much in your ECU. So, you know, fan comes on sooner, keeps the engine cooler, you can go a little faster, rev limiter changes. There is some perks. So even if you don't want to get crazy change of performance to prolong the life of your machine, it may be something you want to look into. And then if you go further down on that, the tune that is on there, it did change the boost, changed a couple other things, and should put the pep back in a step for my wife's. So, drop the diff fluid out of there. It is a little glittered up, but nothing crazy. And you guys heard the video. It was kind of angry. Okay, for a FYI, for your information, I'm sure you've heard this on other people's channels. Always, 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 always make sure that you pop your fill plug loose before you drain your fluid. Because if you can't get your fill loose, you drain the fluid, how are you going to get it back in there? Okay, I found that out the hard way. So if you ever run into that, this is what I use to get them out of there. I see that a lot. Guys have ran into, well, what do I do to get it out of there? Guys are like, weld something to it, drill it out, easy out. This is what I found was the best for me. All it is get them from Harbor Freight, pipe nipple extractor set, comes in multiple different sizes. You drill that out one size smaller than what this is, pound it in with a hammer. First try, mine came right out. You know, you drill it out, pound that in, and you can have multiple attempts at those. I was kind of leery. I seen somebody else use that. Figured I would try it. Works freaking great. It works great. I was, you know, very happy, very impressed versus having to tear the diff out, all that good stuff. So anyway, let's move over to the drain plug itself. And I do have a little bit. I can feel it is gritty, but I don't see any major chunkies or anything crazy stuck to the magnet. And I ran that machine the rest of the day. There's a couple little chunks in there. Nothing like I was anticipating. So, looks like I lucked out. Looks like I just ratcheted the diff. Did I do it any favors? Probably freaking not. Am I very happy that it did not blow up and I don't have chunks of teeth and stuff in there, parts of my spray? Yes, I am. Very lucky. So I'm going to put some fresh fluid in there, guys. I'm going to put the plugs back in it. She's got a fresh tune on there, and at this point, I'm going to run it. So just a couple FYIs. Pretty easy to put a tune on your machine. You can send your ECU. You do not have to do it yourself, but it is a handy little tool, especially when you've got multiple machines. Other than that, guys, as far as getting the plug out, if it does strip out, that's a cool little tool. And like I always say, guys, on to the next adventure, and thanks for watching.